All right. It's a K-bar Dozier folding hunter. I think that's about right. So it's a 3-inch drop point hollow ground, kind of a hunting blade, hunting style blade. Taiwan. It's probably got coronavirus on it. I've had it about 3 weeks, so I guess if it did by now, I should be in the full throes of viral. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Apparently, this video gets shut down if that word's in there. Coronavirus, though, it is on your Clorox bottle, I think. At least that's the rumor I heard. I don't know. The word is, though, coronavirus. Wuhan virus is not. That's a new one. All right, so three inch hunting blade. I think it's what this is. It's kind of an all purpose. It's an all purpose knife, but maybe the niche is for me would be just simply keep that thing razor sharp and then use it for hunting. Like, when you're bird hunting or you're fishing, I think is probably a way to do it. It's so niche though that I already have stuff for that. Unfortunately for this knife, this will get a fair assessment down the line, but unfortunately for it, about the same time I got this, and I was so happy with this thing, so impressed with it, which I suppose most people say it's nothing special, but I think it's just an ingenious tool. Well, it's a knife and it's got tools. It's pretty cool. I like it. So about the same time I got that, and then this came, and I was kind of, I don't know, I felt kind of let down in a way. But anyway, let's go through the specs on it. Overall length is 7 1/4. Blade length of 3 inches. Uh, Blade thickness was 13 hundredths of an inch. AUS 8A steel. Hollow ground. Pretty cool. 2.2 ounces. Drop point. So I think it'll work fine. Pretty thick up here, but you know what? That's not bad because it does come to a tip, I suppose, that way. Had it for a couple weeks. I've used it. I've carried it. The finish on the thumb stud came off real fast, whatnot, and the finish on the blade or the coating on the blade comes off real quick too. Basically, I think I have cut up avocados with it. I don't know, they're kind of rough, but I have taken out and used it. I've cut down a bunch of willows and like stripped them off and knocked some knots off and that kind of a thing. Maybe some pine, I think I did. Um, but that finish comes off, or that coating comes off pretty quick. No big deal. So it already looks like a used knife, and it hasn't been used a whole lot, or kind of used. So it doesn't bother me, but it is what it is. Um, so yeah, so I had this, got this, been carrying it. It's lightweight, goes in your pocket real well. Zippered ski pocket, whatnot. Nice to have something on you. That's kind of how I was using it. Um, but yeah, I think it's a really cool design. It's cool shape, cool handle shape. It's ergonomic, I think. And the blade shape, I think, is great. It's good blade length, really, for what it is, for what it's for. $20. I don't know if I mentioned that. AUS 8A, 56 to 58 RC, or HRC, or Rockwell hardness. So it's cool. One knife they have to compare size wise that's kind of comparable is the Spyderco Para 3. About the same blade length or so. This one's at least another, maybe even two. It's probably not 2 ounces, ounce and a half heavier than this. A little thicker, thicker handle, but otherwise, close. Fold them up though. This one probably is a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. But so let's get down to it. Get this out of here. So $20. It's definitely a $20 knife. I think that's an excellent design. I just think the materials used, well, I'm not gonna knock it for the blade steel, because I think if you were simply going to use this for hunting, it would be fine. So if you go out and say you shoot 6 pheasants, or you shoot 3 pheasants, your buddy shoots 3 pheasants, or you shoot some chukar, or you shoot some grouse, I think this would be fine to do all those birds without having to sharpen it. Or fish too. Like you wouldn't be flaying a fish with this, but you could gut a fish, clean a fish with this. I mean, obviously no problem. For that, I think it'd be fine. And then you could clean it off because I'm assuming it's pretty easy to clean. Um, I think I saw an Apostle P video on it, and I think he said you just take the pivot out, the blade pops out. Don't bother about. And I think he even said you could take the spring out too. I don't know. See, it seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal, but it is solid. I guess these are not two parts, so you can take the blade out, and I don't think there's washers. Don't quote me on that. I don't think there's washers. I think there's just raised portions on that Zytel handle in there. They act as washer spacers basically. So should be easy to clean out. So you take this out hunting, rinse it off in the creek, rinse it off with a bottle of water, throw it back in your pocket, throw it in your pack, whatever. Get home, you can take it apart and completely sanitize it. So for that, I think it's great. I think it's probably perfect for that. Instead of buying one of those cheap blade, hunting knives that, like, I don't know if they're posers buying them or who buys them, but you can get them like at Walmart or whatnot, where you just switch the blades out. And I've seen those are kind of nasty. It appears you probably get stuff stuck between the blade and the blade frame or whatever. Anyway, I think I would probably rather get one of these. But if you want a knife for all around use and you want to use it hard, like this thing is a full-size knife and small frame. I mean, it does have a stop pin. You can torque on this thing. You can put as much torque on it as you want. This, no. It has so much. It's got that kind of typical cheap backlock. Not the backlocks are cheap, but cheaper ones have, like my Spyderco Endura has it too, but tons of play here, like playing that pivot. Like if you were to disengage the lock like that, you grab the blade and you can pull it back and forth with the handle, and there's, a good chunk of gap in there. Just poor spacing or tolerances or whatever, going on in there. So, it's a $20 knife. Like I said, niche. I think it'd be fine for that. You want to let open letters with it, it'll obviously do that. But at the same time, you do need a 3-inch blade to open letters. No, you get something like this. Heck, you could use this on birds. You could gut a fish with this as well. As long as you're, like we're talking stream fishing, not probably marine grade fish, but mountain lake, creeks, rivers, etc. This would actually be fine, and it's about the same price, a little bit more, a couple more dollars more, I think, but just much more stoutly built. Or kind of the same token, kind of the fancy man's version is the Spyderco Ladybug, which is actually a pretty cool little knife. I mean, I don't know, it's pretty neat, but it is not a hard use knife, obviously. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got tons and tons of play in there. Just what it is, I mean, it's not a hard use, whatever. When I say hard use, I don't mean like beating on it or anything. I mean, putting a lot of torque on the blade. This thing flexes all over the place, and it's got that play. So, as far as like, using on wood or using anything hard, like probably even cardboard, I'd imagine. I don't know. It bothers me. I'm not saying it bother everybody. But, for 100, same, roughly size. This is $140 probably these days. This is, I think they're 110 because they have S30V steel on them now. But before they went away from 154 CM, I think they got to be under $700. So I think, though, like, honestly, in hindsight, I bought this kind of like, oh, I wanted to check it out. Let's get it. Let's check it out. And I'm glad I did, because I got that out of my system now. And it will be used, and I will use it further and then probably do a follow-up review on it to see if I'm full of crap. But a comparison that I don't have that I would compare it to, because, okay, it would be the Cold Steel Airlight. $85 for it. I'll go through the specs and my opinion on that, whatever. But not having it in hand, I don't have an experience with it. I'm just assuming with all the Cold Steel knives that I do have used that it's a great knife. We'll just assume that. $85. So it's over 4 times as much as this. For this video, let's just say it's 4 times as much as this. But I think that if I would have saved $20 by not buying this, put it towards getting that Cold Steel, personally, I would have been happier with that. So the stats, the measurements on that are 8 inches overall. So it's 3/4 inches longer overall than this. Blade length of 3.5, so it's a longer blade. Blade thickness, 1200, so it's about the same as this. AUS 10A, which I don't own anything AUS 10A, but everything I've seen, I don't know. Well, it's tenfold better than AUS 8A. That's an exaggeration, but it's a better steel. Cold Steel went away from their BD1, and I have a knife in BD1 that I love. I think holds an edge and sharpens up like a champ. So they theoretically upgraded to AUS 10A. So we'll just assume that it's as good as BD1 or better. I am comfortable in saying that. Handle thickness on that Airlight, Cold Steel Airlight, is 3500ths, and the weight's 3.2 ounces. So it's a full ounce heavier than this, but it's fully functional. It's fully functional like this, a little bit bigger. So it'd be like buying something about that size roughly with a triad lock. So either or, I'm fine with an Axis or not, but it's cheaper yet. It's $85, so it's $25 cheaper than this currently. Heck, their coated blades might actually be more than 110. They might be 120. I don't know. And then maybe a little bit, that Airlight should be a little bit lighter than this. I think this might be about the 4-ounce range. I'm not sure. So that, or you could get a Cold Steel Pro Light, which is a Zytel handle, a little wider, a little thicker handle, still 3.5-inch blade like the Airlight, same probably blade specs and whatnot. Does use a cheaper steel, I guess, 4116. Don't have any experience with that, can't say, but it does have the triad lock. I do have the Fenwolf from Cold Steel, kind of in that same material, same setup, different shape. Great knife. So I'll just assume that it's very ergonomic as well. So it just brings back to my point that this is pretty niche. It's not a heavy use knife. Probably it'd be fine for hunting. I do have other knives. Any other knife I have would fit in, including, that for like small game. You can use this on big game too. But like I said, there's a lot of flex in here. That cheap of blade steel, you don't want to be, in my opinion, if you're on a bigger animal with hide, you wouldn't, I don't think it'd be a whole lot of fun. But keep this thing razor sharp, keep it in your pack, keep it in your pocket when you're hunting, it'll be fine. It'll be perfect. I think then that's what it's called, is the folding hunter. So maybe, that's what it is though. If you like the blade, if you like all the specs on it though, you're not going to be doing any bushcraft with it. You're just going to use it for this and that. I think it'd be fine. And if that's the knife size that you want, I think for $20, yeah, you can't go wrong. I think it's a good looking knife. I think it looks a lot better than a Cold Steel Pro Light, not the Airlight, but the Pro Light. I think it's a much better looking knife. So there's that. It does come in a whole bunch of different colors. This one is the foliage green, which that's exactly what it is. It looks like a spruce, at least an Engelmann spruce to me, or even like sage green maybe. Anyway, K-bar though, the reason why I got it is because I've had one of these. This is the second one I've had. Because I lost the first one, but basically, what is this? The 1221 K-bar, regular K-bar knife, but it is a more modern version without the leather stacked handle, which I think I do want to get one with leather. I think it does have that 1095 Crowvan steel. Pretty good. I beat on this one pretty good, actually. Not beat on it, but I've used it. I've chopped with it. I've stripped a lot of wires with it. Rewired, I had a 1980 CJ7 a few years ago. I had to rewire it, and this is what I used to, nothing fancy. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, yeah. Bring this back around. So maybe my opinion on this will change a little bit. It's lukewarm. I think for the little niche that it's for, it's good. It's a good bird or folding bird and fish knife. This is a great all-around tool. All these are good here, this one included. Don't want to denigrate it. Personally, lately I've been carrying this again. It's been a while since I've carried it. Did a little bit of a review on it. Probably a little bit more negative than necessary, but I was comparing it to my favorite knife ever, so I've probably been part of it. But this is a great knife. If anybody's looking for an automatic, I'd recommend picking up one of these. They do come in aluminum too. Yeah. All right. Well, wash your hands after you finish this video, or you should just wash them anyway.